Hello and welcome, this is Mercenary and we're back with some more BattleTech. In the last video, I was betrayed by my employer and now we have to deal with that betrayal. We have to fight them, it seems. Before I do that though, I'd just like to point out, in the break between episodes, I did make some changes to the settings. One of the things I removed was the enemy cinematics. It seemed like when the enemy was attacking me and we had a cinematic, I wasn't really getting the information of what was happening during the attack. So just to make that more visible, I'm just going to turn it off from here on out. It probably will make things faster as well. I'll keep the cinematics for my units on for the time being, because so far they seems like the camera angle and everything has been appropriate, but for the enemies, for whatever reason, it really hasn't been. All right, so these turrets should now be targets. Now, is there a turret control? I do see, is that an orange bar? Where is the building? Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is the turret generator. We're right next to it, so it shouldn't be too hard to knock that out. Oh, okay, there's other enemies around. I didn't notice these at first, but there they are. Now, the turrets usually go last. I think I see their little chevrons here. It's kind of hard to make out. It's very faint, but right here. So these are the vehicles, I'm guessing, two, and maybe a third one. Do we know where that third one is? I see 1, 2. Okay, I don't know where the other one is. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we've got the third vehicle there. All right, well, it's going to be Decker going first, and then the enemy's going to be going after that. So I don't know if Decker would be able to take out this generator by himself. How many hit points does it have? It has 100, I'm guessing. So at most, he's going to be able to do, if I remember correctly, on...
Commander?
Yeah, medium lasers do 25, so he wouldn't be able to take it out. But there is a potential that he may be able to take out one of these vehicles. Trying to think, what would be the safest thing to engage for him? We could build up a lot of evasion charges. This looks like it may be a rear attack if the enemy is facing... I'm not actually sure how the vehicle thing works, though. Is that the front of the vehicle or the rear of the vehicle? I'm going to guess by the fact that the turret's facing a particular direction that the turret faces the front. So if I move here, there's a real chance that I'll be flanked. If I move here, I may be flanked by over this way, but I may be able to angle myself in a way that's not a problem. I could jump as well, and may be able to jump in behind the vehicle. That's probably the best option here. It's going to heat me up, but we don't produce a lot of heat with our weapons anyway, and if we turn like this, the enemy shouldn't be able to get behind me because the yellow line, from what we've learned, is the edge of the map. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, and is that the rear of the vehicle? It sure looks like it is. So let's go ahead and fire away. Now we do have this ability to use precision strike and what have you, but we have a pretty good chance to hit, so I'm going to go ahead with that.
Firing a full salvo.
Oh, I say that and we missed. Alright, well, so that still wasn't necessarily a bad move. Okay, so here comes one of the vehicles. Okay, and it missed. The Shadowhawk. Okay, so now pretty much anybody on my side will be able to go. If I remember correctly, Glitch is the one that has the multi-target. I don't know if Behemoth does.
What's up, boss?
No, Behemoth is the bulwark. So if we want to
What can I do
hit more than one thing, this thing has 100 health. So what I might do is set myself up, use multi-target to hit the generator. Could we do 100 damage if I did that? I might have to use everything to kill it because, yeah, the medium laser plus the PPC is 75. The small laser, we're probably not going to use. So in that regard, multi-target's not really going to be a thing. Okay. Well, who has the best chance of knocking out the... I should be able to do it with my medium lasers. 4 medium lasers is 25 apiece. And then the 2 AC2s would just be icing on the cake. So I think I'm probably the best one to do that. But where the initiative phase is, I don't think we need to do that now. So I think either Glitch or Behemoth should move here. And this guy hasn't moved yet. And won't move on until 2. So Do we move up and try and smash him with Behemoth?
Commander.
Alternatively, I could move up and try and get this guy before he goes. He will go this turn, so might be a good call. Let's go for that. I will give my back to the other vehicle, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to take it out with all of our guys if I do my moves right. So that's what I'm going to plan on anyway. Okay, so the LRM-5 has a 45% chance of hitting. I might fire that off anyway. This seems like it's the end of the campaign and or the mission, I should say. And you know, it's not a great chance to hit, but it's damage that we could use. So let's go ahead and fire away.
Locking in all weapon systems.
Okay, well we didn't need that damage anyway, as our autocannon was enough to destroy that. Okay, so that makes us not have to worry about anything else that's going to happen on this initiative phase. So, as I said, I think my character is the best to take out the building. So I'm going to go ahead and set myself up for that. Autocannons have a very tricky... I don't have them on either. Let's turn them on so we can actually see. Yeah, we're going to want to back up a little bit further so we can get within that minimum range. So let's move to, let's say, here. That should be good for our range brackets. It should allow us to fire everything more effectively. Alright, and we'll attack the turret generator with everything we have. I see no reason why not. And this should be enough to take it out. I could use the precision strike to give me better accuracy, but we're already at 80%. That's not too bad. All right, that's enough, and it takes out the turrets, so good for us. And that leaves Glitch to take out this one vehicle, so we're better off if we're a little bit further ranged.
Waiting on you, Commander.
I don't know if we're going to have enough damage here. Well, you know what? We'll have Decker move before this thing moves, so we may be able to get another strike on it as well. We won't be able to use the small laser, but we wouldn't be able to use that plus our PPC or some of our more effective weapons anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and fire away. There's no reason to use the multi-target ability. Let's go ahead and use the precision strike here. Yeah. And I don't know if the turret would take it out, but I'm going to assume that it would. So let's go for the turret here.
Time to die.
Okay, well, we kill it nonetheless. That was a lot of firepower against an already damaged vehicle. All right, well, that's all the enemy I am aware of. Oh, that's not true. This guy's still around. Oh, that's the target I should have hit. Okay, so we get a little bit of damage on our back. I don't know if she would have had a line on that particular vehicle, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. We'll go ahead and try and stay behind and keep getting those rear shots. I'm going to use jump jets just so that we're not building up too much heat. As you see, our heat bar is kind of full at the moment. But we should manage off the 2 medium laser shots. Okay. Guess this thing has pretty good rear armor. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get some revenge here. We'll go and stomp on this guy.
Heading out.
Never really kicked a vehicle. Let's see how this goes. Okay, there we go.
Reporting. One less vehicle.
Stand by for extraction, Commander. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh, and Darius? I know, Meyer, I know. You want another team meeting. Give the man a prize.
Mission successful.
All right. Successful mission. Yeah, that end part wasn't too bad. It was just a few vehicles. And then the turrets, I mean, obviously, we could just kill the turret generator. Although, I will admit, the turret generator is a little hard to see, so... Okay, so we have the mission report. Well done, Commander. You made the best of a bad situation. Here's hoping we don't run into another job like that one. Okay, so we had all our objectives, which we managed to do. We didn't have a payout because our employer, betrayed us, so that makes sense. We have the Mercenary Review Board. Not getting a pop-up or anything for that, so I guess we'll find out more about this later. But we do have some kind of rating with them. And then we have factions, Darius and the Majesty Metals and Manufacturing. And we cannot gain reputation. I mean, these were the guys we were fighting against, right? So... And then this might have been our employer. So either way, we didn't really change anything. We also have morale here as well. All right. And it took us 16 turns to finish the mission. Let's move on. Okay, so I took damage. I think that was from that one melee attack that struck me, so that's unfortunate. I do believe there is repairs and things in this game, so we'll have to see how that mechanic works. As far as kills go, I got 1, we got 2 here, 3 here, and 2 here. All right, and move on. All right, rent to own in orbit. You need to start finding us better clients, Darius. I mean it. We've been slumming it on the ass end of the frontier for 3 years now, and we are drowning in debt. Fully aware of our financial situation, Meyer, but I can't just conjure up new clients out of thin air. Mouse, do me a solid and back me up on this. Okay. Yeah, out of these ones, I think I like the second one best, so we'll go with that one. Hey, you'll hear no arguments from me. When we made you our commander, we all agreed to follow your lead. Darius, could you walk us through the details of this trouble we're in? It might help if you broke things down point by point. Oh, are we going to have a PowerPoint presentation here? Sure thing, Yang. Point 1. Meyer's right. We're in debt. Every C-bill we make technically belongs to the banks. Point 2. This corner of the frontier is a dead zone for mercenary work. There are clients, but they're terrible. That's just a fact. And that's it. There are no other points. Okay. So, what's our best case scenario? How many jobs will it take to repay the loans? Truthfully, I can't even say. We're in a pretty deep hole, and from where I'm standing, I don't see a whole lot of daylight. The thing is, these banks, and I use the word loosely, they don't want us to pay off our loans. They'll do whatever they can get away with to keep us on the hook. Hit us with fees, jack up our interest rates, misfile our paperwork. I'm trying to find us a way out of this, but it's going to take time. And every day that passes, we accumulate more debt. If we keep going like we have been, we're screwed. Okay, so it seems like it allows us to go through all of these choices. Let's go ahead and do the next one. So why not refuse to pay, even though I think I know what the answer to this one's going to be. That wouldn't be a very good idea, Mouse. The banks wouldn't come for us themselves. They'd hire mercenaries, which makes sense. And you already know how hard up frontier mercs are for work. If we stiff the banks, we'll wind up dead or in debtor's prison. And out here on the frontier, those are basically the same thing. Okay, so we're in a bad spot. What are we going to do about it? I don't see what else we can do, Mouse. I'm already serving up every legitimate contract I can find. Unless you want me to sidestep the Mercenary Review Board entirely, we're basically out of options. And the Mercenary Review Board, I think we're going to get a pop-up here. But more or less, this is a commission that organizes mercenary contracts and things, and your rating system is going to more or less let employers know how reliable of a mercenary band you are. It kind of keeps the mercenaries honest and what have you. Now, you can go outside the Mercenary Review Board, but those are not really legitimate contracts, more or less. So, let's continue here. Go around the MRB? No thanks. Taking an uncertified job is a great way to wind up with a knife in your back. Okay. So we just got betrayed on a board-certified contract. That is true. We're already taking a lot of risk out here. I don't want to compound them unless I absolutely have to. Yeah, I mean, that's personally how I feel. I'd prefer to stay within the MRB, so I'll say that. Amen to that. Remind me again why we don't just skip town and head to a nicer corner of the periphery. Because the banks and the jump ship crews have an arrangement. Until we pay up, they're going to keep us on a short leash. And jump ships are how you get around longer distance. So without that travel, yeah, we're kind of stuck in system more or less. That's a good reason. Look, Darius, Myra's right. We need to start earning some real money, and we need to do it soon. It's only a matter of time before something breaks down that I can't fix with duct tape and good intentions. Okay. I guess we should go with my origin. I mean, that adds a little flavor to the story, right? So, if I were afraid of taking risks, I never would have left the gilded cage my parents called a home. We're gonna have to be just as bold. You hear that, Darius? The voice of experience speaks. Going around the MRB might kill us, sure, so might 1,000 other things. We're mercenaries. Taking risks is our business. But we need to get paid. I feel like I just contradicted my earlier statement, though. It's settled then. I'll start digging for contracts outside of the MRB system. Who knows? Maybe it will work out for the best. It isn't like we've got all that much to lose. Well, we'll see if the MRB comes after us. In the meantime, we need to find another paying job, and our prospects in this system have completely dried up. I'd recommend booking travel to a neighboring system and seeing what the review board has for us. With any luck, we'll find enough work to keep going until something better rolls in. Alright, the banks are holding jump ship access hostage until we repay our debts. For now, we can only go between, I guess this is the place we already are at, and the nearby systems of Alloway, Bellerophon, and Detroit. You gotta love these, made-up names that always gives me a little bit of a challenge trying to read them off to you. I'm not even gonna try that one. Our top priority right now needs to be finding work so we can raise cash. None of the contracts here are very good. I picked out the only viable one I could find, and it hopefully includes our travel fees as part of the deal. Come by the command center when you're ready to review it. Okay. And I believe this is the management part of the game. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of time here to figure out this particular interface system, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back, and I did take an opportunity to take a look at all of these different interface options, at least get a basic understanding of what they do. Some of them I wasn't able to figure out, but I didn't really spend a lot of time with them. There are options to talk to different characters. I really didn't do anything with that yet. One thing I did notice when I went to the mech bay is that Blackjack does indeed need repairing. So you see a repair option, but none of the other mechs have that option here. So it looks like we're going to have to repair this thing to get its armor back, and it looks like we do have some internal structure damage as well. So let's click this option. I assume it's going to cost us money, which indeed it does, and it's going to take time to do. So better do this now rather than wait. So let's repair. Now we do have a number of C-bills already, some of which I just spent. And, oh, okay, so the timeline. So this got added to the timeline. So I see there's a financial report, which is going to happen in 29 days, and then the Blackjack will be done in 6 days. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the refit system as well. I did poke around with this, and I watched the tutorial, or read the tutorial. This is the only tutorial I've noticed so far, unless I missed something. But more or less going over this, you do have a number of weapon slots that you can assign things to, and what you can assign is kind of listed here. So you can have either one ballistic weapon or one, I think they categorize it as a support weapon, which MGs, and I'm guessing small lasers, probably flamers as well, are going to be categorized that way. But you can tell by the fact that it has a symbol here. And anytime you're hovering over anything, you know where you can put it by the fact that it's giving you a yellow halo. So when I pick this up, I can only put it where there is an appropriate slot. So there's only one slot here, so I can't really put it there. So it ends up putting it in the dismount. But there's an open slot here, so I can put that there. Now, one thing that I will point out is although this does have a, for example, we have an energy weapon here, and it says 1. If I remove the medium laser so that that's like that, we do have some weapons here. So for example, I have a large laser. Now I can't mount any missile systems, so this is grayed out and has these slashes through them because there are no slots that have a missile slot here. So If I wanted to mount the large laser, though, I can mount it, even though, according to the stats, let's just make sure that you can see that. It says that it is a 2-slot item. That doesn't really mean that it takes up 2 categories. It will take up 2 physical slots. So if we show that now, you'll see it takes up 2 physical slots, but it only counts as 1 weapon. So that's something to point out. Now, we don't have the tonnage for that, but I just wanted to point out kind of how this system works. So that's more or less how that works. And as far as I can see, we can just hit revert change to get that back to the way it was. As far as I can tell, ammo can go anywhere that you want to put it. Now, the only weapon systems that I see that we have at the moment are... No, we do have an AC2. We have some of those, and we have some AC2 ammo. AC2s, though, are pretty heavy. They're 6 tons apiece. So as much as, yes, I could put that on this Locust, because it does have slots for ballistic weapons, that's going to be, 10 tons there. That's going to be really difficult, probably impossible to put 2. Maybe 1 I could do, and that may be the only weapon I could fit on here. Because right now, the tonnage that we're taking up, so it's half a ton per machine gun, so that's 1 ton. The machine gun ammo is a ton, and then the medium laser is a ton. So that's 3 tons worth of things, and the one AC2 is 5 tons. So probably would have to strip armor to have just 1 of these. So that's kind of how that would work. I haven't seen any option to change your speed, so I guess you're stuck with whatever the default is. And one thing I will point out, normally speaking, Locust would be as up armored as it could be in the tabletop game, more or less, as close as you can get it to being that. It seems like we can get more armor than that if we want to. So you can kind of go over the limits of what is in the BattleTech game, the tabletop game, I should say. And also, it doesn't seem like the front and rear armor is linked like it is in the tabletop game. So this doesn't really affect the cap of how much frontal armor I have if I raise the rear armor. So that's something I could do if I, of course, have the tonnage to do it. So let's go ahead and back out. And yeah, I'm not going to save the changes because we weren't really doing anything meaningful anyway. So that's a refit system. As I said, I don't really see that we have that many weapons to play with. I mean, maybe we could fit something in one of these guys. The Vindicator has a PPC, and I'd rather just keep that, to be totally honest with you. And other than that, I mean, maybe we could strip out the small laser if we didn't want to keep that around. But for now, I don't think I'm going to mess around with that too much. And if I remember correctly what the tutorial said, even doing the refits, it will take time to do, but it also costs you money. So I'm not going to spend a lot of money here when we don't have a lot of equipment to swap in and out. The one mech that I would really want to change around would be the Shadowhawk, but I only have 1 laser slot. And what I would want to do is remove the AC5, because that takes up a lot of its tonnage, and replace it with something else. Maybe that large laser, but then we don't have any other energy weapon slots, so what else would I be able to put in here? Whereas we have a lot of ballistic weapon slots. So I'm kind of stuck with this at the moment being the way it is. We do also have a store. I didn't look at too much detail at this, and a hiring hall. And here we can buy a couple things. I'm guessing it's based off of the system you're in. So we can buy a Panther and we could buy the Locust that we already have. But these are fairly expensive. I mean, as you can see here, and the amount of money that we have, I mean, this is more than a third of how much money we have right now. And if we consider that we are in debt right now, probably wouldn't be a good idea to spend a lot of money. And you could also see here that a lot of the weapon systems are fairly expensive. The Flamer's not too bad. And it does seem like that is indeed a support class weapon. But yeah, we could get machine guns, we could get small lasers, those kind of things. I mean, the small lasers maybe would be the good call for the Locust if we want to up its firepower, because we can use its 3 support slots and give us 3 small lasers and even give us a little bit more armor in place. But to do that, I would have to spend quite a bit, about 66,000, and then we'd have to do the refitting and all that. So I'm not sure I'm going to do that just yet. Let's go ahead, and the other thing I want to point out is our finances. So this is our financial situation at the moment. Now, I don't know exactly what this is going to mean because I haven't done the contract part, but we have 130,000 in expenses, and 70,000 of that is our bank loan. And then we have 110,000, that's our current crew. Now, if we take a look at our crew, which is under the barracks. We have mech warriors. We do have the 4 that we had in that last battle, and then we have an additional 1 as well. We also have experience points that we can spend to upgrade our pilots. I haven't really done anything with that yet, but from what I've seen, this seems to be a track that is the different skills that are in the game, and then this is how you get the skills as well. So you have to go down a particular track if you want a particular skill. And outside of that, the command center, where you can talk to Darius, you can also get your contracts as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I haven't really done anything with that now yet, but we do have this one contract that's sitting here. It's Seek and Destroy. It looks like the... Okay, so that's going to be its Canopian contract. So that's going to be our employer. This is our max pay, and then we have max salvage. I haven't seen what that means yet, but our intelligence confirms there is a lance of pirate military units operating on Bellerophon within a region we control. All Canopian operations are at a risk as long as this lance is allowed to move unimpeded. Hunt down the enemy lance and eliminate it. This is a straightforward battle, Commander. Finding a military lance in a backwater like this should be no challenge at all. So it does say... doesn't say it's a mech lance, though, right? It just says pirate military, so that could mean anything. All right. And then this is our difficulty of the mission, I'm guessing. Yep. Travel to another system included. Ah, okay, so he did mention that. All right, so let's click the negotiate button and see what happens. Okay, Commander, I hope you are in good health. This contract may interest you. It fits your skills and the strengths of your company. With any luck, we'll both get what we want out of this job. Okay, so we have 2 sliders here. One's salvage and one is the payment. Now, the payment, I think, makes sense. Do we have a tooltip? Yeah, there we go. Okay, difficulty of the mission and your reputation with the employer. Okay. And then we have salvage. The first value, priority salvage, is the number of items you may choose from all the available loot on the battlefield. The second value is the total number of items you'll receive. Oh, okay, so that's interesting. So the first number, that's a choice. So you get a priority. You get to pick out of all the list of things there. You get to pick one thing, and then you get, I guess, randomly assigned the other 5. So I'm guessing a total of 6, 1 there. Well, we know that items are pretty expensive. So do we want to go with the salvage? I don't know if there's a sale mechanic with the store. I didn't really look in that much detail. So let's just look at that real quick before. Well, okay, what are our different things? So if we go there, oh, we get a reputation bonus if we, okay, so these are interesting. So sometimes they're linked and sometimes they're not. So if we want more reputation bonus, we could take less pay. Or we could take in balance. Probably there's a set, there's a set limit of what you can do. So to be able to get more cash than the baseline, I have to lower the amount of salvage. But if I want to, I could take very little salvage and get some rep bonus. Well, I think I'm just going to keep it at the default for now, but that is a pretty interesting mechanic. So let's go ahead and accept this contract.
Bio command.
Oh, and it's going to jump us. All right. I did want to check the store to see if we could sell items. I guess we can pause at any time, but I don't know if we're in that system anymore.
Docking sequence commencing.
Okay.
Done, Commander.
All work order is complete, Commander. The crew is ready for their next job. Okay, and it paused, I'm guessing, for that. And then we have 6 days left of travel. So, let's, so store, can we buy anything still? Okay, and yeah, there is a sell option. So, I still think that, that was a good call to get more salvage, because we were losing 2 things, and I think we were getting... Maybe, I didn't pay too close attention to the amount of cash. It was probably pretty equivalent, though, because it looks like the sale prices are pretty slashed here, maybe in half. I could confirm that if we had a similar item on both sides. So, yeah, we have an AC2, and they have an AC2. So 55,000 to buy, and to sell, it's 5. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's quite a down tick. So maybe taking more cash would have been the right way to go, but that's all right. We'll live and learn. But moving on, we have, I guess we should just continue. One thing that I should do before we start a mission, but we'll have time to do that, is train up our crew. I don't think that takes any time. And one thing I haven't really looked at too much in detail is our reputation. Let's go ahead and take a look at that now. So at the moment, we're neutral with everybody, but let's see who we've got. So we've got the Draconis Combine, we've got the Lyrian Commonwealth, we've got the Taurian Concordant, the Free Worlds League, the Federated Suns, okay, the Capellan Confederation, and okay. And then we're doing a job for these guys. So I'm not sure if we'll get much reputation. I mean, it seemed like it was going to give us a baseline of reputation, perhaps, if I was reading that correctly. And then we have the Mercenary Review Board here. How trusted and effective your mercenary company is. High MRB rating will earn you respect from fellow mercenaries and mech warriors for hire. And if we look at the hiring hall, if I remember correctly, there is a limit on some... Oh, okay, we can't hire them while we're in transit anyway, but I think there was a limit on some of these guys, you know, the ones that are red, you know, have these red slashes. You have to have a certain ranking to be able to hire them, but we'll see that once we get in system. So, all right, let's go ahead and go back onto into traveling here.
Undocked from junction. We're clear.
Okay. Oh, okay. Shakedown. You're on the Leopard's Bridge when Samir, Yang, and Darius from the daily staff briefing. For the daily staff briefing, Darius says, "We received 3 messages from the banks, loan sharks." Samir cuts in. "From the people who are financing us," Darius continues. "They're considering rewriting the terms of our loan, so it'll be easier to seize the ship if we miss a payment. As usual, they're only doing this because they believe we can't fight it in court." Okay, so out of these options, sweet talk is not really the way I would roll. Ignore the messages sounds like a bad idea, so I guess we'll do this one, educate the banks about their mistake. "I'll do with it, you say." Later you record a response. In it, you sternly remind your line holders that as financial institutions operating on Detroit 3, they must abide by a local contract law. You even cite the relevant sections of legal code from memory. Then you point out that as you've kept records of all payments and correspondence concerning their loans, you will be able to demonstrate in court that their proposed revisions to the agreed-upon terms would represent such a gross violation of the law that you would undoubtedly be awarded a second dropship at the bank's expense. Once the camera is off, Samir says, "There's no way they pushed you on this. Too bad. I like to see loan sharks grovel." Okay, so we now have a loan status, which is fair. The company's credit is currently rated as fair by the banks financing the Leopard, which should at least deter them from sending bounty hunters after you. Okay, I guess that's good. Out of curiosity, was that something that was listed in finances? I didn't really pay attention. Not that I see. Oh, I never did look at customized company. Let's take a look at that now. Oh, and this is just changing colors and things like that. Well, I'm all right with this for now. And reputation. Yeah, I don't see anything for the bank, so I don't know if, where that information is at the moment, but, you know, maybe we'll find it later. Let's go ahead and talk to some of these people real quick.
You've got questions? I have answers.
Always good to see you at Ops, Mouse. Can I do something for you? Alright, I want to know more about our debt situation. Yeah, sure, that's fair. I'm glad you're taking interest. I've got time to get into the nuts and bolts of it if you do. What did you want to know? Okay. Remind me why we took so many loans in the first place. That'd be nice to know. How much time have you got? I mean, we've been hit with 1,000 expenses since we were forced to flee Cormodir, but I guess you're mostly interested in the big ticket items. Well, first and foremost, there's the Leopard. We still owe a lot of money on this ship, and losing her isn't an option. And you've got all the assorted fallout from our impromptu trip across the frontier, jump ship passage, docking fees, miscellaneous travel expenses, all paid or on credit, as if we had a choice. There's more that I could get into. The loan we took out to set up Markham's family, etc., etc., but that'd be gilding the lily at this point. The fact is, we're in a lot of trouble with a lot of lenders, but hey, we're mercenaries. We live for trouble. Who are we in debt to exactly? I want names. How about I give you the top 3? First, you got Blue Horizon. That's the big commercial bank at Lyerton. They're the ones that own the lease on this ship. Then there's the Indri Consortium. They've got people everywhere, but they're based somewhere in Merrick space. We borrowed from one of their associates to make the jump away from Koromodir on the day of the coup. Finally, we've got Lockdown Lending. They're a frontier outfit from Hastur, and they're about as crooked as they come. Now, I wouldn't normally do business with an outfit like the Double L, but we didn't have a choice. They made a deal with Blue Horizon to buy half of our debt. So that's the big 3: a commercial bank, a shadowy financial consortium, and a bunch of leg breakers in cheap suits. And each of them is dangerous in its own way. All right, that's enough money talk. And as a matter of fact, I think we're going to wrap up the video here. In the next video, we'll finish this leg of the journey and we'll do our mission. I'll probably do some talking with the rest of the crew as well so we can get some backstory. But in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.